Hey gang, Captain Jim Ross here. We did a little catch a memory this morning with Jimmy Williams, talking about diving, getting out of the boat, doing a little bit of things that I don't necessarily do, but this guy is an expert at. So Jimmy, I appreciate you coming in this morning.
I always appreciate the invitation to be here.
And of course, we talk some fishing too. So hopefully you guys and gals enjoy this show. Hey guys and gals, welcome. It's another edition of Catch a Memory Outdoors right here on WWBC 1510 AM. That's your main signal here at Cocoa, at the radio station that we broadcast from. Of course, our FM frequencies are 99.9, 94.7, 100.7 FM. You can listen to those frequencies as well throughout the Space Coast. We appreciate y'all tuning in this morning to Catch a Memory Outdoors. I'm Captain Jim Ross, and I'm the host of the show. And hopefully you guys and gals are going to enjoy us watching this show if you're watching on Facebook or listening over the radio here over the next couple of hours as we talk a whole lot about getting out of the boat, which is something I don't do, but my special guest, Jimmy Williams, does a lot of, and I appreciate you coming in this morning, Jimmy. Thanks. It's great to have you back.
Absolutely, Jim. I'm always, excited to come and do your show. I love talking to everybody about what I love doing, and we're just getting started this year. We're kind of, early in the season, but it's coming on fast. Lobster diving is just a couple weeks.
I mean, we're only, a week and a half, 2 weeks week and a half, actually, for
the mini season. Yeah, it's usually the last Wednesday and Thursday of the month, which I believe this year it's actually the 30th and 31st, which is the last 2 days of the month.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and then the regular season opens up August the 6th.
And so the whole reason behind the mini season, I'm kind of baffled about that. That's kind of like having a 2-day midweek deer opener before the regular deer season opens. I'm not what's that all about? How did that come about?
Well, it's really designed to give the recreational sportsman the opportunity to get their diving in before the commercial guys, mainly down in the Keys areas, put their lobster traps in the water.
Okay.
So
understood.
we have a 2-day mini season, and then up here, unlike Monroe County, which is the Keys area, even during our 2-day mini season, we're allowed to keep 12 lobsters per person.
That's a lot of lobster.
It is a lot of lobster. In Monroe County, you're only still allowed 6 lobsters per person, even during the mini season.
Okay. And Monroe does that encompass the Keys, or is that just Miami?
That's all the Keys area.
All the Keys.
That's
so Miami's,
I don't know.
Broward?
Possibly. I'm not really sure. I just know Volusia, where I dive, and then Monroe, the Keys areas.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And, so honestly, the 2-day mini season has been in effect as long as I can remember, and I've been diving for 47 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Yep.
So the the whole thing with the mini season. Okay, so now I understand. It's recreational guys can get out there and get a good couple of dives in, or snorkels in if you're in
the Keys.
Water,
you can lobster dive in 7 feet of water,
or bully net even.
Absolutely.
You don't even have to get out of the boat. Hey, now we're talking my language.
A long handle with a bully net.
But, very cool. Very cool. Well, hold on. It sounds like we got a phone caller on the line. Let's see who's we got on the line here real quick.
What's going on, Jim?
Oh, it's my buddy Orson. Hey. How are you doing, buddy?
Yes, sir. Good, man. Thank you for the intel on the pogies, man. We're up here on the north of the tip and loading up, man. Big ones.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to go out and give it a try offshore today, huh?
Yeah, we're going to go get our 36 red snapper. This is the last trip that I can take. So I got Davo with me, my nephew, his buddy Owen, Billy. So we're going to do a fun trip today and just see how many we can put in the box.
Very nice. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, you got a good crew on the boat there, so you got guys that know how to turn the handle. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. And these are these pogies are over 12 inches. These are huge.
Big turbos. Yep, big turbos.
My goodness. Yeah, we're gonna take them out there and feed them. I mean, we'll probably feed the sharks and the red snapper and everything. You're gonna feed everything out here today. We'll bring all this bait.
Yeah,
So,
you won't have to. You won't have to worry about little ones, or if you want some smaller ones, you're probably gonna have to cut those turbos in half. There should also be some mullet right at the tip of the Cape, right in the surf, and if you go just a little bit farther north, right along the beach, up right in front of the, like from the lighthouse, like due east of the lighthouse over to due east of the Blue Origin pad, there may be some smaller, regular Atlantic menhaden as well.
Yeah, I think we got 4 dozen croakers and some pinfish. We got
you got plenty of smaller baits.
We want to have the smorgasbord, right?
Yep.
You know, they're gonna. I think the snapper will like one of them. So we'll see how it goes. So
Orson, I know a lot of guys out there are going, well, wait a minute, how is this guy allowed to keep 36 red snapper?
Does he have the special permit?
He's got the special permit.
Say it on my little Facebook. Yep. They call it the golden ticket. You know. So yeah, I got the flag up, and we're gonna. Yeah, this is the 4th trip though. So this is the last trip that I could take.
Do you have a biologist on board with you?
Yeah, the biologist meets me at the dock, and they got cameras on the boat. They record everything, and then they meet us back at the dock and do all the research.
So it's my understanding that you can only do this by rod and reel. You cannot spear them under this this program.
I think that's correct, yeah.
Somebody asked me that the other day.
Yeah, I don't think you can spear them. Yeah, it's all just hook and line, 2 hooks, circle hooks. You have to have a descending device for other stuff that you can't keep. And, yeah, that's pretty cool.
How deep are you fishing?
It's nice to collect some data.
How deep are you fishing?
We're going to be out about 180,
Nice.
220. I mean, like, it's a lake, so we're going to run out kind of probably deep. Go for the bigger fish.
I wish I was out there diving today.
Deeper.
And it looks like the stream is pushed out a little bit, Lou, and I was looking at the fishing and boating conditions this morning. So hopefully you won't have a lot of current to deal with. Because I know when the stream pushes in, you start having to deal with more current, and it makes it a little harder to fish.
Yeah. That was the last trip. We had so much current we couldn't even use the trolling motor. We had to just drift.
Wow.
So yeah, we're
a lot of current
conditions this time.
That's a lot of
yes,
current.
Sir.
Well, good luck out there, buddy. Hopefully you can fill the bag. But if you don't, no matter what, at least you got the opportunity to get out there and keep a couple, which obviously most of us, nobody gets to do except for the 2-day season that Noah has deemed the only 2 days that you can legally keep them.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, anytime I can go fishing with my nephew, it doesn't matter if we catch anything. It's a good day on the water. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, buddy. Well, you guys have a great day out there, and hopefully we'll see some Facebook and Instagram posts here this afternoon.
Yes, sir. All righty. Take care, Jim.
Hey, take care.
All
Bye-bye
right,
now.
care.
That's cool. Live from the water.
Mm-hmm.
From the water.
So they're allowed 36 fish?
So some of the permits only allow you to keep 3 fish per person, with I think a maximum of 15. I haven't really looked at all of the rules and the different programs that the state of Florida put together.
Do they still have the
special permit?
20-inch size, or
I think it's any size fish.
yeah, like
So you could keep one under 20. However, trying to find one under 20 is not very easy.
Right.
You really have to go search for that fish. Most of the fish, I mean, I am not a bottom fisherman, but when I do go out to the reef, I still catch red snapper. And most of the time I'm either slow trolling a pogie or drifting a jig with a pogie on it, looking for king mackerel or something like that. But if you intentionally try to catch them, most of the time your fish are going to be 5 pounds or bigger.
Yeah.
Is what I've experienced in the offshore waters out of Canaveral. So with most of the fish being somewhere between 8 and 12 pounds, which is a really
that's
nice
a good eating size.
That's a great size to eat.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are like, oh, we would just want to catch these big 15, 18, 20 pounders, and they don't eat as good.
We shot some toads last week, during the 2-day season. I didn't get to spear on Friday. I had other commitments, but I did go Saturday. And my first drop, I shot a 20-pounder.
Yeah.
And it came out of a wreck. And my buddy was on the backside of the wreck, and he couldn't get a shot at it. And he pushed it through the wreck. And he didn't know I was on the other side. And when it popped out, it just turned broadside.
Boink.
But it's we saw some giants out there.
Yeah.
Just pigs.
There are some some spots that I stop on and I'll start chumming, and you'll see those red snappers start to come up. And it's almost every single time I'm like, oh, here comes an amberjack. They're that big. They are truly 20 pounds or bigger fish. And it's like, you're not stopping that fish. Not in 100 feet of water. If that fish is 20 feet down when he bites, you're not stopping that fish. He's running you 80 feet and getting you into whatever's down there.
They're strong fish.
They are so strong.
Right.
But yeah, going back to this, special program that the state of Florida has put together, what they're doing is they're gathering data. And they're gathering data so that they can basically say to the NOAA, National Marine which is under the National Marine Fisheries Service, or the National Marine Fisheries Service under NOAA. They're going to go to NOAA and just say, look, you guys have mismanaged this way too long. Here's the actual, factual, scientific data that we've collected for the past couple of years. And so we are now going to just say, the heck with you guys, and we're going to take this over, is pretty much what is going to occur, it looks like. And it may just be straight up defiance of the National Marine Fisheries Service, but the National Marine Fisheries Service and the South Atlantic Marine Fisheries Council, as we all know, have mismanaged so many different species, and this one just is a huge, glaring example of how badly or how poorly managed they have done, with this particular species. So the state's just saying, you know what, we're gathering our own data. We're going to look at, cases like Orson, taking 4 guys. If they come back with 36 snapper, does that mean that there's a shortage of red snapper? I would probably say no.
Right.
Absolutely. If they come back with 20 red snapper, is there a shortage of red snapper? I would probably say no. If they come back with 3 red snapper, for a full day, then I'd say, yeah, maybe there is something to this, and we need to pay a little more attention to what National Marine Fisheries is doing. But I know as well as you do, Jimmy. You're in the water. I'm not in the water. Okay,
I see it.
I pull up over a wreck, and my sounder lights up, and I start catching red snapper, and there is no shortage.
It's like what you see that you can bring to the surface when you're chumming for them. And everybody knows I'm not a big rod and reel fisherman.
Right.
I'm a shaft guy, but what you see on the surface is just part of it. I mean, the majority of it is closer to the bottom.
Yeah.
But I also understand that Ron DeSantis is trying to take away from the SAFMC the management of the East Coast, and he wants to incorporate that, into the Florida Council. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think with these data collecting trips that they've done all up and down the eastern seaboard, because they're doing these type of trips not just here at Canaveral.
Right.
They're doing them out of Ponce. They're doing them basically everywhere from St. Mary's Inlet all the way down to Government Cut in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any of those guys in the Keys that got any permits.
My buddy,
there's not really a lot of them down there, but they do catch them.
Yeah, my buddy Arif Sabir, he lives here in Melbourne,
right?
And he got one of the permits, several months ago, and they did very well out there. And he says, there wasn't a trip that we did that we didn't get our limit.
Yeah.
I think he's got a 34 yellowfin with triples on it,
yeah.
And they'll go out to the deeper water to catch them. I don't think he fishes shallow too much.
Now, did he have the 15 fish permit or did he have the 36 fish permit?
That I'm not sure about. I didn't
because there's two different ones.
Okay.
The one that Orson was picked for, obviously, he gets 4 trips between and now in Orson's case, they drew a line like at the vehicle assembly building. I don't know why they picked it, but they picked the vehicle assembly building.
Oh, you have boundaries.
Yes. So he has to catch all of his red snapper from the vehicle assembly building, like an east-west line, north towards Ponce Inlet and Daytona. So he's running, that's why he's running around the tip of the Cape, getting his bait, and then continuing on north.
Right.
So he basically has to fish north of the false Cape.
Gotcha.
Off of the Space Coast here.
Right.
And there are other permits that are from the vehicle assembly building south. So guys out of Sebastian can get them. Guys out of Fort Pierce can get them. So I think that they're maybe looking at not the East Coast as an entirety,
right?
they're looking at the East Coast as a segmented population, and so that they can probably, when they come up with and draft these rules, as the state of, and I'm thinking the state of Florida now, when they draft these rules, they're going to say, okay, in Northeast Florida, and that would be from the vehicle assembly building to the Florida state line.
Yeah.
This is going to be managed as one group. And then from, basically the Cape south, we're going to manage that as a different group. Because historically, and because you're a diver, you would see this firsthand. Historically, there's more red snapper from Canaveral north than there is from Canaveral south.
Yeah.
You start going south, you start getting more mutton snapper, then you start getting into the yellow tails.
It's kind of like the grouper. You see more gags up here, and down south you start seeing more blacks.
Gotcha.
Very rarely do we shoot a black up around ponds. Once in a great while.
Right.
We shoot scamps, a lot of gags, but the blacks, I know they get them on the West Coast down around Naples and stuff, and down near Jupiter. I got a buddy, he likes to dive that deep ledge off of Jupiter, and they shoot big blacks down there too. But it's a lot sharkier down there than it is up here,
sure is.
Even though we have to deal with them everywhere.
Yeah, it's sharky everywhere. That's why I stay in the boat. So on that note, we're going to take our first break of the morning. Hopefully you guys and gals want to give us a call here. We're talking a little bit of diving today with Jimmy Williams and myself, Jim Ross, and we're going to be right back with a whole lot more Catch and Memory after these messages, so don't go away. Hey guys and gals, want to let you know about Integrity Pest Management. If your home is under attack from pests or termites, or if that furry wildlife has made themselves way too comfortable in your attic, then give Integrity Pest Management a call, because they specialize in getting rid of pests, termites, and wildlife safely and effectively. They've got years of experience with commitment to integrity, and they protect your home from unwanted invaders using eco-friendly and efficient solutions. Don't wait for the damage to pile up, guys. Call Integrity Pest Management today, and they'll give you a free inspection and let them restore peace and security to your home. It's real easy. Give them a call, 321-637-1199. That's 321-637-1199, or visit them at integritypestmanagement.com, where they're at the Integrity Pest Management. Their whole thing is they want you to have peace of mind in your own home. And sometimes that's hard to do when you've got bugs and things crawling all in it, especially with all this rain we've had lately. Everything wants to come in the house, and it's like, okay, I'm done with you. Time to call Integrity.
I've got something so big in my attic, I'm not sure what it is. It sounds like a badger up there.
Like Bigfoot, huh?
I'm scared to get in there and find out what it is.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just trying to figure out how it got in there.
Call them.
I actually put cameras up there because I keep hearing it, and I just
a game camera.
Yeah. I got 2 trail cams up there, one on each end. So when it crosses, it's gonna send me an alert. But it just I can't. I don't know what it is. It's got to be a giant rat on steroids.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, let's go to the phone lines. I think we have Captain Mike Mann on the line right now. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. How are you doing this week?
Doing well. I heard through a little bird that you had about the same thing going on yesterday I did. I had hundreds of tarpon rolling. I could not get them to eat a darn thing.
They had an attitude. I mean, they just had an attitude problem yesterday. I don't know what their deal was. I had croakers, I had pogies, and I had pinfish, and I had silver perch. I got the plethora. The only thing I didn't have was mullet. Now,
they wouldn't eat mullet for me. So.
They wouldn't eat mullet either. So I don't know.
No.
I don't know. They were just they had an attitude yesterday.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I mean, they were rolling like there was no tomorrow. I mean, tail slap.
Yes, tail slapping, busting the surface. Yeah, but not striking. Just like tail slapping. Yeah.
How big were they?
Yeah, but would not
60 to 100 pounds.
I think we may have had 2 grabs, but I'm not even positive it was tarpon. It could have been catfish or just something else. But it was very odd. It was very disheartening, because I'm like, well, let's go see if and we didn't find tarpon really anywhere else other than one roller here or one roll there. But in the ICW, they were just as far as you can see in both directions.
You know what I did not have, Mike?
What's that?
I did not have any kind of shrimp set up for them. I had shrimp, but all I had was little dinky shrimp. I didn't have like a shrimp big enough to put on the hook, the size that you would need to actually land a tarpon. The bait shop just didn't have any bigger ones yesterday, and so those little 2 to 3.5 inch shrimp, you could maybe get away with putting a 4/0 circle hook in them, but it would the hook would be as big as the shrimp, and generally I'm a 5/0 guy. I mean, that's kind of on full size tarpon. You have to have at least a 5/0, and here's why, and you know this, Jimmy, but here's why for those listeners out there that don't know. The distance between the shank of the hook and the point, or in the case of the circle hook, sort of the last bend, because the point is parallel with the hook shank, that gap has to be big enough to go around their jaw. Otherwise, you'll never hook them. It's not happening. Just period. Not
they have
happening.
a thick jaw.
They have a thick jaw, and so there has to be enough gap between the point and the shank to be able to get around there and then lock in. Mm-hmm. Well, on a 3/0 or 4/0, on a 60, 70, 80 pound fish, 60 maybe I could get a 4/0 to go around one. A 70 pound fish, no, and an 80 definitely not. It's just not happening. So, I go to that 5/0 size. That seems to be the size,
which requires a bigger bait,
right? And so the 5/0 hook was twice the size of the shrimp that I had. So was that my problem yesterday? I don't know. I think the problem yesterday was they just were in the mood to play, grab ass, and not really eat, because that's what they were doing. They were just rolling around and flitting around and messing with one another and popping their tails, and so. But yes, Mike, the catfish bite, however, let me tell you how good the catfish bite was yesterday. Because we caught a lot of catfish yesterday.
Catching some trophy gaff tops.
I didn't get, because I was using mullet, I got one catfish, that was it. But the current, the tide was ripping so hard. And the other thing we had is there was a lot of floating grass. And, you're constantly
Nope. I'm stopping you right there. We are not complaining about floating grass ever again. Ever.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just making a statement that I had to keep pulling it in.
Right.
And clearing the mullet's face off.
Well, I tell you what, after having 5 or 6 years of just moonscape out in the Indian River and Mosquito Lagoons, to see floating grass again, I just told myself, I said, you know what? I will not ever complain about having to pull grass off of a hook again.
Right.
Because
no, sir.
When you don't have grass and there's no fish to fish for,
grass is a healthy
that's worse than pulling grass off a hook.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you, with this rain, that bloom we had looks like it's starting to dissipate now. We're getting some of that salinity is getting back to where it should be, as opposed to being skyrocket high.
Right.
And so we're starting to get some cleaner water. But this little low pressure system just put a wrench in my whole week of fishing. Monday, I got out here before, and we were on the beach, and if you put a bait in front of a tarpon, it ate. And we had 150 pounder on, we had 175 pounder on for about an hour. Both of them got leader touches, and had several other eats, but they were just, we were reeling a bait in, they were chasing it down. I'm like, stop reeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then Tuesday, well, we all know what Tuesday was like, and I think most of Florida, it was just rainy and windy, and it just churned everything up. I'm actually sitting here looking at the beach. I'm starting to see some birds dive again, but it's pretty flat out there, except for like that first 100 yards from the shoreline out, you've got a little swell. But I'm starting to see birds, so hopefully this coming week, it looks like we got light west winds. So I'm kind of hoping we get back to where we've got the pogies on the beach and happy tarpon.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, Friday, now this is a week ago, not yesterday, but a week ago Friday, the mullet, the pogies, and the turbos, the bigger pogies, were all plentiful. And the tarpon were as happy as they could be. And then, like you say, Tuesday's rain event really kind of threw a monkey wrench in things. I did on Wednesday and Thursday. I had an afternoon trip Thursday. We did hook some juvenile tarpon in some residential canals, and we actually got a 36-inch snook out of the mangroves. I was like,
Nice.
whoa, check this dude, right?
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, maybe a 2-pound trout or maybe a little, 24, 25 inch. But we had 2 snook. One was about 26 inches, and then that other one was 34 inches. And I was like, holy cow!
Do you ever have many fly rod clients for tarpon?
Not anymore.
No,
not anymore. At one time I had a lot of fly fishing clients, and then A River Runs Through It came out. You remember that movie?
Yes.
And Brad Pitt was in A River Runs Through It.
Yeah.
And, so they depicted Brad Pitt as this world-class fly angler, and all of a sudden it was like Yellowstone. Everybody watches Yellowstone. Now they think they're a cowboy, and so they got to go buy some boots and a hat.
Right.
And it's like, so they're watching A River Runs Through It, and they run to the fly shop, and they're all, they got to get Patagucci'd up, Patagucci shirt, Patagucci pants, Sims wading booties, the whole, it was ridiculous. I had so many people that just showed up that looked like they were the mannequin in the fly shop window.
And they couldn't roll.
And they couldn't throw a cast from me to you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And so I got so fed up with it, I just stopped. I was like, no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Because I had guys tell me, oh, yeah, I know how to fly fish. I'm a fly fisherman.
And they bring a 7-weight.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, no, you're not. I had guys like Rich Furman. So Rich Furman used to fish with Jose Wehebe. And then Jose, he was still doing his guiding, but he really got heavily into the TV show and his traveling, part of his TV show. So he wasn't guiding as much. Rich started fishing with me back in the day. Now this guy shows up. He's got this old beat up leather fly bag. It wasn't neoprene. It wasn't Cadora. And he gets out of the truck and he's carrying this old ratty thing. And he's walking. I can't see his rod yet, but it doesn't look out of the ordinary. But I'm seeing this bag. And he's kind of he's wearing a shirt that looks like my shirt. It is sun faded. I'm talking, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Now we got a guy that's probably going to do something. And I put that guy on the bow of the boat. Absolutely best fly angler I've ever had on the bow, including Jose. Now, I have to quantify that. Jose made a cast one time when we were poling in the Mesquite Lagoon. He made a cast over 100 feet with a spoon fly.
Wow.
With a Dupree spoon fly. I'm talking, and I was just like, oh, I'm bowing. I'm like, oh, I'm not worthy. Because to see
it was like
somebody,
a 9-weight. And
he was throwing either an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
And he turned a Dupree spoon fly over at about 107 or 108 feet.
Wow.
I can't get one to turn over hardly at 65.
Yeah.
Those are big, heavy
there's
flies.
a little wind.
Yeah, and he just, like a cannon, just shot it out there. But Rich was proficient, backhand, forehand. It didn't matter where the fish was. The fish could be at 9 o'clock. The fish could be at 12 o'clock. The fish could be at 3 o'clock. I would say, Rich, there's a redfish at, let's just say, 9 o'clock. He's just off of, he's at 9 o'clock. He's 60 feet. And I'd say his head is pointing to the left, which means he's going towards 8.
Right.
And Rich would, and it would be a 63-foot cast at 8:30, basically leading the fish by 2 or 3 feet.
Right.
Perfect. He wouldn't even see the fish, but his o'clock and my
he
o'clock
would listen to you
were so dialed
yes.
that you could tell him an o'clock and he would hit it and, strip, boom, there he is, and he's got him.
Yeah.
The guy, you would catch 17, 18, 20 redfish on fly in a day, where the average guy, including myself, may have gotten 5.
Yeah.
He was that good.
Wow.
So to see the guys in the Patagucci that can't throw, the length of the rod, and then you see this guy step out and he's, got
a 30-year-old fly rod,
his weather tattered, everything, and this guy's been around. He's been around.
Yeah.
So
nice.
yes, so going back to the tarpon, no, I don't have a lot of fly tarpon guys.
Yeah.
But there is a good opportunity to do that. Well, buddy, I sorry to kind of squash your thunder there, but have you got any time open? Because we got to go to the break.
Believe it or not, I have 3 days open this coming week. I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weather looks phenomenal right now. I'm not promising phenomenal weather, but right now it looks great, especially if you want to get on the beach and do some tarpon fishing for those big girls. You can give me a call at area code 386-295-5991. You can follow me on Instagram, CAPT, Mike Mann. And, hey, I got a Facebook page up. It doesn't have many followers or much post yet, but it's Captain Mike Mann.
Awesome, buddy. Good deal. Good deal.
So, guys, get out there and catch a memory, and hopefully this weather forecast for this week does what it says it's going to do, and I can play on the beach all week for the tarpon.
Well, hopefully somebody out there will call you early and often, and you'll get booked up.
Sounds great, guys. Good talking with you. Have a great weekend.
You too, buddy. Thanks for the call.
Take care.
All righty. Bye-bye now. Hey, gang, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more, so don't go away. Catch Your Memories coming right back. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. This segment of the show is brought to you by Engel Coolers, and if you haven't checked out Engel Coolers, you need to do that. That new UL60 they have is an absolutely fantastic cooler. It's got so many new features in it, and it's just the right size. It's not too big, it's not too small, so it makes for just a handy truck cooler. It makes for a handy beach cooler. It's light enough to pack around and carry if you're going camping or doing whatever you're doing, heading to a sporting event. Give that new UL60 a try, and it comes in a bunch of different colors. You're going to like it. Go to engelcoolers.com and see all of the stuff that they have right there, and enjoy, because I tell you what, I really like mine. We're going back to the phone lines. We got Rodney Sarah on the line. Good morning, buddy.
Morning, Jim. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Have you recovered from ICAST yet, or are you still in recovery?
No, man, it's going to be a nonstop one. We are eastbound and down right now. I have the lovely Amanda, my wife, and we have Miss Irene, who is with X-Braid all the way from Japan. And we're going to go out and see if we can tug on some fish with some new X-Braid that we have, the new full drag braid that they just launched at ICAST. So,
gotcha.
See if we can play around a little bit with some fish.
So how many carriers is in that line?
So the full drag is actually a 9-carrier braid. It's going to be a single core piece that is actually wrapped in 8 strands.
Gotcha.
So it kind of works like a Chinese finger trap.
Yep.
So it stays completely round, so it's less tension as it goes through the guides when you're casting or fighting a fish. And, man, I can honestly say it's one of the best braids I've ever used.
Very cool.
So I'm excited to put it a little bit more to use.
Put a bend in the rod and see what it really can do, huh?
Hopefully, yep. We're going to see if Miss Irene can pull in a couple of mackerel, or maybe we'll try to find one of these unicorn red snapper. I think we caught them all last weekend, but, we'll see if there's a few more left.
For as many people went out and for as few red snapper as there are supposed to be, that was a disproportionate amount of pictures I saw on social media. I saw a lot of red snapper. Either we are really good at catching red snapper, or there's way more out there than what National Marine Fisheries is saying.
Yes and yes.
Well,
yes and yes.
I went out Friday afternoon, and I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. Had some parky wire, and I, left the boat in the water, or I actually pulled the boat out and then launched real early in the back launch and came out, and I was sitting at Blue Points waiting, and I turned around, and I didn't realize that many boats could even fit in the locks at one time, because they opened those locks, and it was like a naval armada coming out of the back.
They'll put 40 or 50
lock.
boats in there at a time.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was just as many out there when you got to the areas, and you see everything from people gaffing 4-pound red snapper to a few decent ones, but it was interesting. And I'll say for the listeners, if you don't bottom fish a lot, just a rule of etiquette, when there's a bunch of people fishing an area and drifting, don't get in the middle and spot lock.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It messes people up real quick. So, but it was a good time. It was fun.
I think they call that common sense.
Was good as always. So.
Yeah, like you say, Rodney, there is an etiquette out there. If somebody's already spot locked on a spot, then don't pull up there and expect to be able to drift on it. Okay.
Yep.
If they're already anchored,
exactly.
or if you want to, pull up and say, hey, do you mind if we both fish the spot and drift it instead of spot locking? You can at least ask, and the guy can either say yes or no. But if he's already there, then he's got first right to the spot, and
He's got first rights.
for people to drift through is
And this
not right.
was-
But and consequently, if there's boats drifting a spot, you don't
Yeah,
pull up
don't-
and spot lock. That's just not
No.
right.
It's just, numerous people can fish a spot when there's anything from a mile and a half, current or wind, whatever.
Yes.
You can fish that spot very easily, and I do feel still it's more effective to drift out in the deeper water when you're fishing for these fish instead of spot locking. I think it's more effective on the fishing side,
Yeah.
even though we all know it's a heck of a lot easier just to push a button. But when you can drift it with numerous people, you're going to keep those fish a little bit spread out, but they're going to feed a little bit better, in my opinion.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but
Well, you guys
There's a
have
lot
fun
of
this morning.
we will, man. Just wanted to call in. Appreciate it. And, after I talked to Mike yesterday and I talked to you, I told him, I was like, yeah, Jim had the same issue down south. So
Yeah.
it was interesting. So you guys can have fun with your tarpon.
Yeah, my
So,
tarpon can either be on or off, and yesterday my tarpon
Yep.
were off.
Yep. They didn't have the switch on. So,
No.
all right, guys, have a good show. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, buddy. Be safe out there today.
All right, see you. Bye.
I know.
So getting back to the spot lock situation, like I said, I'm not a big fisherman.
Right.
I know what they do out there and how they fish. I know how they fish out there, but so if you spot lock on a specific location,
Right.
and you're catching red snapper, and then you're getting sharked, versus drifting that same area, does it still attract the same volume of sharks,
No.
or are you more likely to get sharked more often by in a
If you're
stationary
sitting
spot?
stationary and you start getting sharked, there's two things you can do. Turn your spot lock off, drive way up current, and then figure your drift and give it 15 or 20 minutes and then come drifting back through and continue, in most cases, continue catching those fish. If you get sharked after that, then there's too many of them there for you to be fishing there, and just go somewhere else because you're reinforcing bad behavior. Whenever
Well-
the sharks start eating fish off your line, they realize that they can catch them much easier. They're not going to stop doing that. They're like dolphin in the lagoon. If you're catching trout and the dolphins show up, just stop fishing.
Well,
when the
I
dolphins
noticed-
go away, then start fishing again.
Yeah, I noticed during the 2-day season, I had a couple specific wrecks out there that we had pre-dove 4 days earlier.
Right.
And I knew the big fish were there, and the water clarity was there. But when we got there, the first wreck I got to, there was a 54, what is it, HCB,
Yeah.
with 6 350s on it, or I'm sorry, 6 500s on it. And there was like 10 guys fishing on it. I'm like, all right, we're not going to fish that. We ended up diving another wreck about 300 yards due east of them. And that's where I shot my first big red snapper. But they were sitting on that, and they sat there for over an hour. So when they finally moved off, I'm like, well, let's go over there and see what's there. Well, when we got there, it was sharks.
Shark
It was
City.
2 big sandbars.
Yeah.
I didn't do that dive because we did the first dive. But we did another one where these guys were drifting. And after they moved off of it, they didn't come back. I'm like, well, let's go drop on it was just a pile of culverts. So we dropped on that and got 2 more red snapper, but we didn't see any sharks.
So, once again, this is my observation, is kind of what you're saying, Jimmy. My observation is if you pull up and your motor's running, your transducer is pinging, your trolling motor
That's
is
the
running.
attraction, the electrical current.
They're coming to that sound, and it's like, they know what the sound is. Whether it's a diesel motor, whether it's an outboard
They're
motor,
so conditioned.
they know that if it stops and it sits in one place, somebody's fishing, and hey, we can go get a
Yeah.
free meal. They have figured that out.
Yeah.
And so in many cases, yes. As an example, this is such a prime example. I was down in the Keys for the month of May. I went and fished Middle Cape. Okay, I fished around East Cape, got some triple tail stuff, got some redfish, snook, blah, blah, blah. Let's go up to Middle Cape and check Middle Cape and Middle Cape Canal. We go up there, and I stop, spot lock, start casting at this one little piece of shoreline that I like to fish. It's got a little creek flowing out of the north end of it that kind of joins into the main flow, and the fish like to sit along. There's a dead mangrove and then 2 live mangroves, and they like to sit in front of those those trees, mainly under the dead one, because the water flow, I think, is a little better there because it's partially down in the water. And so, or I should say it's blocked a little more. The live ones are not all the way in the water. There's a little bit of root structure and some overhang, but the dead one's down in the water. So I think it creates a little more of a current break, if you will. And they really like to sit behind that one. So I pull up, I side scan it from about 60 feet, and I'm like, yep, they're there. So I spot lock, and we start casting at it. And I left my sounder on. Within 3 minutes, I've got a bull shark showing up in my sounder. We sat there for 10 minutes total, and I had 4 separate bull sharks in 10 minutes that came to either the sound of the trolling motor or the sound of the ping coming off the transducer. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to land anything here. There, we hooked a couple. They start chasing them immediately. Okay, we're not going to land anything here. Let's go to another spot. So I go 500 yards to another little creek mouth farther in. I stop. I'm scanning back and forth. Now I'm not marking anything big. Okay, I'm marking some bait fish. All of a sudden I see one mark that looks like a snook, and I'm like, hey, it looks like there's a snook kind of hanging right here, just kind of off the edge of the little drop. I pull up in front of it, I spot lock. I'm like, you pitch, I'm telling my customer where to pitch and then let it drift through, pitch and let it drift through because we're throwing liveys. And here we go. There's a bull shark shows up on my starboard side. Then he swings back around and he comes across the port side. And then he swings back around and comes by the starboard side. And then there's another one with him. So I've got 2 pings. They just start circling the boat. And before we left there was 5 separate sharks circling the boat.
Big sharks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm thoroughly convinced that there is something to either the transducer or the trolling motor that they know, here's a person fishing, they're probably going to catch a snook, and here's an opportunity for us to steal their snook from them. And that's exactly what they try to do. Every single snook you hook, they're ready for it. They're ready. It's...
Well, that kind of gets back to the line of Lorenzini on these sharks.
Yeah.
They pick up electrical impulses. And your trolling motor, your transducer, your big motor, all of it produces electrical current. And I think that's a big attraction to them.
Yeah, well, they definitely know that a stopped boat is a feeding opportunity for them.
And also when we're diving and we see a big school of snapper, there's always a shark in there with them.
Yeah.
There's always a shark.
Yeah, seems like it.
They eat them.
Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more Catch Your Memory, so don't go away. Jimmy Williams and myself, Jim Ross, will be right back after these messages. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. You know what? The American Beers for American Heroes from Carroll Distributing is a great event that's going on right now. And you guys can participate because you can help out Folds of Honor because if you buy a case of Bud or Bud Light between now and Labor Day, you basically are helping to donate $1 per case for those in need. So, for the past 15 years, Anheuser-Busch and Carroll Distributing has raised over $33 million to help support scholarships for the families of fallen veterans and first responders through the Folds of Honor. And, you can show your support. Just get out there. And, those guys have been out on the front lines, whether they're a first responder or a veteran, they've helped you, your family, your friend, your uncle, somebody, that they have helped. And so you can give back by buying some Bud or Bud Light today and helping through the Folds of Honor. So get out there and give those guys a little helping hand. Jimmy, we also need to do the catch conditions real quick because best times to fish and hunt are kind of like right now. I mean, I don't want to discourage anybody from listening to this radio program, but the Soul Lunar tables are telling me it's time. So from 7:25 a.m. to 9:25 a.m. is the major this morning, and then 7:50 to 9:50 p.m. Is the major again, and then the minor is at 3:02 to 4:02. So basically 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock this afternoon is the minor. Today we're going to have southeast winds at 5 knots, becoming east at about 5 to 10 by the afternoon, and the seas are 2 feet at 8 seconds. Pretty much wherever you want to go. There is a little wind starting to pick up to the south, down around Fort Pierce. But, Ponce right now, the buoy up at Ponce, the 13-mile buoy is 80 degrees, 2 feet at 8 seconds. The 4-mile buoy out of Canaveral is 81 degrees, 2 feet at 8 seconds. The 20-mile buoy is 84 degrees, 2 feet at 8 seconds. The only difference is the 6-mile buoy out of Fort Pierce. Water temperature is 80 degrees, and they're starting to get a little, like I said, a little wind chop, 2 feet at 4 seconds, which isn't horrible, but it's not great either. 2 feet at 8 is a whole lot nicer. Western edge of the Gulf Stream, 45 miles out of Ponce, 33 out of Canaveral, 26 out of Sebastian, and the current surf temps are basically 80 degrees from Ponce all the way south. And tides look like this. Canaveral, we got a low tide at 9 a.m., so coming up in about an hour, and then a high at 3:45. And then this evening, there's another one just after 9 o'clock. Sebastian Inlet, you got your low at 9:29 a.m. and your high at 3:56 p.m. this afternoon. And remember, the current change at Sebastian is about 3 hours after the actual beach tide. So, but the Soul Owner tables are brought to you by the great guys, Tino and Danny and the guys down at All About Archery. And I was just thinking, it's time. It's mid-season. We're less than 100 days. We've only got about 60 days
for hunting,
for bow season to open up.
September. Yeah. I was just telling him on the way here this morning.
September it opens.
On the way here this morning, I counted 19 deer in a 1 mile radius on 95. And I'm talking about, there was like 9 in one group. There was 6 in one group. Yeah. I saw does with spotted yearling or fawns.
Yeah.
I saw bucks still in velvet. It was amazing coming here this morning just to see these deer on the side of the road.
They're all out,
and I'm like, hunting season's not around. It's just right around the corner. Because I love to bow hunt. I'll be up and back in North Carolina this year, bow hunting back up in Burnsville.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to hunt there last year because of Hurricane Helena. I've got a friend that has 110 acres up there, and he allows me to go up there and hunt it. And I'm looking forward to being able to go back this year again. There's some beautiful deer up there.
So, all of that Carolina area a lot of it got really just hammered.
Oh my, yeah.
Are they recuperating? Are they
slowly?
Kind of back to normal?
So his property is on Green Mountain and right there off the Tow River. But if you can imagine going across this little bridge, and then the river is wide, like 200 feet wide, but it's like rocks and it's not deep at all.
Right.
And right when you turn right on that river, there's a little bit of grass on the right, and then on the left side of the road is all the houses. They're gone. Wow. That's how high that river came up and flooded. But luckily he was further up into the mountain. But he had no access to his property only by helicopter for several months. They were using his property for a landing zone to get supplies to the people that were, because the bridge was gone.
Yeah.
They couldn't get across the river. So it was,
and it's not like you can just throw up a ferry dock or something and ferry things back.
No,
and forth.
No, not at all. But yeah. So he's been up there a lot, getting things fixed up.
I talked to a couple of different customers of mine that have come down over this past year that have either lived in that area, lived in that area, or have family in that area. And one guy was like, there was no warning.
Mm-hmm.
There was no warning that the flood was coming. And he goes, we lived up just high enough that we weren't affected by the floodwaters, but the entire town, basically, that he lived in is gone.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
He's like, it's just gone. There's cement pads, and that's it.
Right.
Like, the buildings are completely, it's like they never existed. They're just gone.
Yeah.
And he said it's amazing the force that the water had. And
water movement, it's amazing at the power it has.
He lost a lot of friends. He lost some family members too, and
so
all of those little towns that were affected by that. I mean, that's bad. You think about Hurricane Katrina and how it affected New Orleans and how many people were displaced by that. I think, if you look at the total number between the Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina mountains, I would say that there's close to the same amount of people that were affected in that event as well throughout those areas. It wasn't just localized to one city.
It was a swath.
Yeah, just
all the way up the states.
Area that was just absolutely just annihilated.
Well,
crazy.
We're supposed to have a hot season this year, so we'll see.
So hopefully, there's all the deer haven't been swept away.
No, they're there because Chris has been telling me he's man, we've been seeing some nice deer on the property, and the lucky thing about it is I'm the only one that hunts it.
That's awesome.
There's no other hunters.
So my good friend Daryl McCall, he invited me up to his place to hunt last year, and we had a big time. Just Daryl's a lot of fun. He's a good guy. We have a lot of fun together, and this year he's already sending me some trail cam pics. And
is that Georgia?
That he's in actually in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, and he's
the longest hunting season of the year.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, they he tells me that per square mile there's more deer kind of in the southern South Carolina area than there is pretty much anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's very rural, and there's a lot of crops, so there's a lot of food for them, and I guess there's not a whole lot of pressure, but I'm looking for it. He said that I'm invited back this year.
I got to find me a friend in South Carolina.
Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can go get a couple of does for myself.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
I'm not a horn hunter. I'm a meat hunter.
Well, I mean, he's got some good looking deer. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly, but
I saw one last year though. I probably would have shot, but it was a nice 10. It was a really nice 10.
Yeah.
He had some nice tine length, but I didn't get a chance to. I only buy a doe tag. I don't buy a buck tag.
Yeah.
For that state, because I don't really have any wall space to put another horn on.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of freezer space.
Yeah, there you go.
So
absolutely,
does, I'm perfectly fine with taking a doe.
I shot a doe up there 2 years ago that weighed 180 pounds.
Wow.
And it wasn't pregnant.
On that note, we're going to take our top of the hour break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more Catch a Memory Outdoor Radio Show coming right back at you after these messages, so don't go away. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. This hour of Catch a Memory is sponsored by Bud and Bud Light and the great people over at Carroll Distributing. They're a family-owned and operated distributor, eagerly providing Brevard County beer drinkers since 1960, and they do a great job serving us out there. So thanks to those guys at Carroll Distributing and the work that they're doing through Folds of Honor. Jimmy, we were talking in this last hour of the radio show that there's a lot of things that we think we observe and we think could be changed, and things like the red snapper limit. That obviously has been an issue for a long time. But you just mentioned something to me that I never really realized, and I don't think I would have probably ever realized it. The only time that I see nurse sharks is when I'm using baits around the jetties, or sometimes baits along the beaches. I'll catch some nurse sharks. But we catch a lot of them actually down in the Keys. Mm-hmm. Tarpon fishing, shark fishing, doing that. There's a lot of nurse sharks down around the flats and channels and areas around in the Florida Keys, and especially I fish that Isla Mirada area quite a bit. And you were mentioning here though that we all know there's a problem with bull sharks. We all know there's a problem with sandbar sharks, and those sharks are learning to come to your boat and steal your bait or steal your fish.
Right.
They don't ever seem to hit your bait. They always seem to steal your fish.
Yeah, they want your catch.
Yeah. But you were saying that, as a diver, what you're observing underwater is there's not enough, or maybe some protection needs to be afforded to nurse sharks?
I just don't understand this, and I don't know how long they've had nurse sharks on the on the catch to keep list, but we don't see a lot of nurse sharks out there. Maybe every 2 or 3 dives, we might see 1 or 2, and they're always in a culvert. They're always under a ledge,
seems like
sleeping.
They're always hiding.
Nurse sharks are more of a nocturnal feeder, and their favorite food, believe it or not, is lobster.
Yes,
anything crustacean, crabs, lobsters. But I don't understand why they put the nurse shark on a keep list when we have an abundance. Now, bull sharks, they're also on the keep list. I don't know all the species. I know black tips.
I'm gonna look that up.
I know tigers are closed. I know sandbars are closed. Great whites are closed because we don't have many here. But I wish that they would close the nurse sharks and protect them 100% and open up sandbars.
So looking at the list of sharks that we have the opportunity to catch, So
like spinners.
I've got this great little app. It's just called Fish Rules.
Yeah, that's what I have.
I downloaded it. This is the best app.
It is.
No matter where you are, it gives you the regulations for where you currently are.
And if you're out of range, you can still pull it up on your phone.
So angel sharks, which
I've never even seen one.
I don't know if anybody's ever caught one here recently, but no, you can't keep them. Sharp nose, there's tons of them. You can keep them. You know, they don't get very big.
Right.
Basking sharks, you can't keep.
Nope.
Big eye sand tigers, you can't keep.
Nope.
Big eye six gills, you can't keep. Big eye threshers, you can't keep. Big nose sharks, which I didn't even realize there was a thing called a big nose shark. Now I do. And they look like a lot like a sandbar, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Black nose, we catch black nose along the beach. You're allowed to keep black nose. Black tips, obviously. Blue sharks, I didn't even realize we had blue sharks here. I've never really seen one of those. Bonnet head, seen tons of them. Bull sharks. Okay, let's click on that. Bull shark season is open.
Mm-hmm. You
You can keep one per person or two per vessel, and it has to be at least 54 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it says a fork length measurement, not the tip.
like a cobia.
So, in the case of a bull shark, that's going to be like if you measured him overall, that's going to be a 60-inch fish because his top part of his tail is
tall,
3 or 4 times longer than the bottom part.
Yeah. So where that little V is down there.
Yeah. So 54 inches at the fork, but you can keep a bull shark. So maybe we ought to start promoting the fact that you are allowed to keep bull sharks, and maybe that would help the predation, reduce the predation on or depredation, as they want to call it, on our other reef species, and even king mackerel and shark. And bull sharks eat king mackerel, and you can't hardly hook a cobia without a bull shark wanting to chase it down.
Right.
So, yes, I would say that's probably worth looking at.
I believe you're also allowed to keep thresher sharks.
Common thresher,
Yes.
which I've never
seen one out here diving.
Fine tooth you can keep, and we catch tons of fine tooth.
Yeah.
Tons of fine tooth along the beach. Great hammerheads you can't. Lemon sharks you can't keep, which is kind of interesting.
They're protected.
They're everywhere in the Keys.
I know.
I mean, they are like the plague.
Yeah.
You go to any bonefish flat in the Islamorada, marathon area, and there's lemon sharks around. Longfin makos you can't keep right now.
Short fin you can, though.
Gotcha. And there's the thing called a night shark. There's a narrow tooth. I didn't realize there was a difference between a narrow tooth. There's no picture for it. There's a narrow tooth shark and a fine tooth shark. So that's kind of interesting. But nurse sharks, you're right. They're open.
Yes.
Let's check it out.
And I just wish
once again 54 inches.
Yes. That's a 4 or 5 foot shark.
Yeah, 50,
5 foot.
54 inches is 4.5 feet.
That would be considered a small one.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one out there the other day.
And that's at the fork.
Yes. I saw one out the other day, just beautiful shark. She's laying, she's probably 10 foot, huge.
Yeah, they are a interesting shark, and their skin is not like other sharks are rough. Mm-hmm. Their skin is more like pebbly. It's almost like little mini pebbles. But yeah, you are allowed to keep a nurse shark. That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
I just wish the biologists.
And then regular sand tigers, you can't keep.
No.
Scalloped hammerheads, you can't keep. Short fin makos, you can't keep right now. I don't know if there's a season for them or not. Let's see. Let's open that up. Nope.
No, it's complete closure.
Yep.
Here.
But here's the one that we really need to open up.
Sandbars.
That's
right.
And it says it is unlawful to possess, land, purchase, sell, or exchange this species. And there's a lot of bull sharks.
And they're not even migratory sharks. They're here.
Yeah, the sandbars.
I get it if they're migratory animals and they come and go, kind of like our big sand tigers.
Yes.
They're
colder
migratory.
months they're here, warmer months they go north.
When that works cold, you'll see the big sand. They're beautiful and they're slow moving. They're beautiful. I really just wish the wildlife biologists that do the studies on the sharks would really, take into consideration trying to, do something about protecting the nurse shark.
Yep. So spinner sharks, you're allowed to keep if you can land one. That is absolutely, people are like, oh, tarpon are really hard to catch.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Spinner sharks are the hardest fish in the ocean to catch. I don't care if it's a blue marlin, a white marlin, a tarpon. I don't care. They're easier to land than a spinner shark. Because a spinner shark, the second you hook him and he runs 40 to 60 yards normally, and then he spins.
Like a
and
kingfish.
He wraps your entire line, leader, everything. You have to run literally a 10 or 12 foot leader of 100-pound test or more to actually land one.
Yeah.
It's not an easy rig to fish because it's so heavy. Because when they spin and they wrap, they pop the line almost every single time.
It's cool to watch them out there.
It's great, except that like on a tarpon rig, like you're fishing for tarpon, and the spinner shark grabs it, you get one jump and you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's not okay. I'm just going to pull it back in and re-rig, or I pull it back in and rebait, and then put the line. No, you have to totally re-rig because they destroyed your entire leader system.
They shredded your leader.
Yes, yeah. So in my opinion, that is absolutely the most difficult fish in the entire ocean to land is a spinner shark. They're easily hooked, but not easily landed. And you're right. All the rest of the sharks are pretty much closed. But yeah, the sandbar, man, I don't understand why they have that.
And
one.
you can catch 50-inch sandbars out there all day long.
I don't. Is there one smaller than that? I'm not exactly sure they even make them smaller than 50 inches.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone I see is always 150 pounds.
I've seen them. Most of the ones that we see out there are the 6 to 10 footers.
Yeah.
And the smaller they get, the more cockier they are. The big ones, they've been around the block. They know what they're in for. They'll get jabbed in the face, and they've kind of learned. They'll come around, but they don't come in aggressively. They might want to snoop around, and if they can get a fish,
if you have a stringer with some fish on it.
But these little ones, these little 6, 7, sometimes 8 footers, they have no manners whatsoever.
Yeah. They just come running right in on you and try and try and steal your.
I always carry a pole spear with me, even with my gun, because I use that pole spear for flounder, and then if I shoot a fish and I've got him on the end of my shaft and I'm trying to work that fish, and this shark comes in, I can take that pole spear and jab him until I get my gun reloaded and do what's necessary if I need to. Yeah. And most of the time you don't. They finally will leave you alone, but every now and then you get that one that just doesn't want to quit.
They can be obnoxious.
Yep.
Well. As many teenagers can be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's get back to doing a little break here. When we come back, we got more with Jimmy Williams and myself and the Catch Your Memory Outdoor radio show after these messages, so don't go away. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch Your Memory Outdoors. And this hour of the show is presented to you by Bud and Bud Light from your friends at Carroll Distributing. And I want to say, who likes beer? Well, heck, just about everybody does. So why not do something with your next beer purchase that can help families of fallen veterans and first responders with Carroll Distributing's American Beer for American Heroes program through the Folds of Honor. Carroll Distributing, with each case of Bud or Bud Light sold, will donate $1 per case. And they've been doing that for the last 15 years with this partnership with Folds of Honor. So crack open a cold one in honor of those whose family members have given the greatest sacrifice of all, and get yourself some Bud or Bud Light between now and Labor Day to help with this promotion. Jimmy, we were talking sharks, and obviously as a diver you see lots of sharks, and obviously as a non-diver, that's the reason that I'm a non-diver, is that I don't want to see lots of sharks. I see plenty of sharks while I'm standing in the boat. So I have a tendency to stay in the boat. But, I do have an appreciation for being able to get out in the water and, look around and see what's down there. I totally get what drives you to do that. But you've got that shark shield repellent.
I do.
That you wear. But is there ever a time where you're just like I'm feeling really uneasy about this dive?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when we're out there and the water is less than, ideal. Mm-hmm. And when I say ideal, for me, it's 25 to 35 foot of visibility. That's ideal because then you see them coming, you can manage them, but when you're in that 10 to 15 foot of visibility and you've got a 10-foot shark, by the time he's in your visual range, I mean, he's already on you.
Yes.
So getting back, and also you're out there diving, and all of a sudden here comes a huge school of blue runners. That is an alarm system, because when the blue runners are there, the sharks are there.
Really?
I guarantee you, 99% of the time, when there's a school of blue runners, there's a shark nearby. Now I don't know whether it's the blue runners that are symbiotic with the shark, or the shark is symbiotic with the blue runners. I don't know. All I know is they're there. Getting back to the shark shield, I've been wearing Freedom 7 shark shields made out of they come from Australia.
Okay.
But so now they've closed it down. They're no longer manufacturing this product.
Oh, really?
And I mean, yes, there are still dive shops around that have leftovers, for sale. And I think I'm going to go buy 2 more, even though they're like $600 retail.
Well, how come they quit making them?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's just, I don't know whether the market slowed down. If they were having, product problems, I don't know. I do know I wear a shark shield religiously, and I get like probably about 3 years out of a shark shield. And then the electronic wiring that goes into the controller, they tend to want to rust, and it's sealed, and there's no way to take it apart and repair it, and you have to send it back to Australia, and then they charge you $300-$400 to fix it. $200 more, you buy a brand new one. So, and I've noticed the newer shark shields that they had, 'cause the one that I've got now is probably 4 years old.
Okay.
Well, so 2 years ago when they came out with it, my tail on the shark shield is 7 feet long.
Okay.
The new ones are only about 3 feet long. Now, I kind of like that idea because it's that much less to get caught into cracks and wrecks and stuff.
Right.
So I'm fixing to buy another one with a shorter tail, and I want to see how that works.
Interesting. So, but when you're wearing that, you feel confident that thing is working for you.
But I have confidence in it because I have confidence in it because I know it works. But a lot of times when I have a shark issue, if it's not really bad, I don't even turn it on.
Right.
I don't turn it on because you only have about a 45-minute run time before you deplete the battery in it, and you have to recharge it. So I don't turn it on unless I actually have a serious problem. Because I'll just jab with a pole spear, and they usually leave me alone, and I come up. Well, the other day, I don't know what happened, but it got turned on. I don't know how it did it, and when I came back up to the boat, and I went to take because my shark shield is, instead of wrapping around my ankle, I have it wrapped around my long blade.
Okay.
And it's kind of, a piece of it is zip tied to my blade, so when I'm diving, your feet's behind you.
Yes.
Well, when I came up, I take my blades off and I hand them up. Well, that tail caught me in the neck.
Oh.
And it was like getting,
like Mr. Spock got a hold of you, huh?
it was like getting jabbed with those, what do you call the paddles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, it came alive. And gosh almighty, that hurt.
Woohoo. Wake you up. Huh?
So I make sure it's off from now on.
Yeah, yeah. Looking for that off button. That's funny. Let's go to the phone lines. We got Matt Lee calling in this morning. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain.
Out there, are you out there chasing them, or are you giving them a break today?
Giving them a break today, man. We've been fishing hard the past couple of weeks. I needed a day off.
I hear you.
So, the bite's been good, man. Bite's been good. The redfish have kind of gotten a little bit, let's say, ornery. But they're still tailing good. Trout bite's been good. I'm starting to see some. I've been seeing a couple decent sized sharks on the flats out there.
Interesting. Yeah.
They won't eat anything though. Like I've thrown some cut bait to them, and they just go right by it, like they don't even see it. But yesterday, one came right to the boat, and he was good. He was a good 4-footer. I tried to get him to eat, but he wouldn't eat. But I know you guys were talking about sharks, so I figured I'd throw that in there.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that we are seeing a lot more bull sharks, throughout the lagoon system again. When I was young, there were a lot of sharks in the river, a surprising number of sharks in the river, and we actually would catch them once in a while. Not a whole lot, but you typically weren't rigged for them, but you would catch them once in a while. But I've got places now that I can go and I can set up and put out some cut baits, and then put just kind of chum with some cut baits and put some bait out on a hook and a wire rig, and we can actually target them in many cases now. So overall, when you look at sharks in the population of fish, yes, they can become an issue at times, but that also tells you that the system is getting healthier. And for a couple of years, we didn't see any sharks. And now Jimmy was just talking earlier about seeing seahorses in the grass while he's shrimping at night. Mm-hmm. And you start to see, seeing grass is a good thing, obviously. Seahorses are showing back up. More sharks are showing back up. So it's all leaning towards this whole ecosystem along the Space Coast getting healthier. And so I guess it's not to be unexpected to start seeing everything throughout, every kind of predator, not just redfish and trout and tarpon showing up.
Well, let me tell you this, is that we do have a lot of grass, right? Okay, we do.
And that's a good thing.
But I'm telling you, the past couple of weeks, the grass is really starting to uproot. There's just huge mats floating down the river.
Uh-huh.
Just huge mats. I mean, buddy, I'm telling you, like, I don't know why it's coming up off the bottom like it is, but it's, I don't know what's happening on our side.
You think that's from prop wash?
What's that?
You think it's from prop wash?
I'm not saying it's from people running across the flats or nothing like that. I don't think it's because of that. I think it's just uprooting. I mean, there's so much. And I'll tell you, the boat activity, to be honest with you, hasn't really been that horrible on our side. Like yesterday, I fished yesterday, and I may have seen 5 boats, 6 boats, include myself.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, there's so much of it. I mean, you can go down the ICW right now, and you'll see mats of it just floating down the river.
Are you seeing any triple tail under those? Again. Are you seeing any triple tail holding under those?
Yeah, I haven't even been looking, to be honest with you. I've been so like, oh my God, there's another big mat of grass. Like, just, I should be, but I haven't.
I know back a number of years ago when we got mats like that in the Indian River side, you would actually find triple tail holding under those mats.
Well, I will be looking for sure. I'll let you know, but I haven't noticed anything like that. But I'm just telling you, like, it's green grass. It's beautiful, but it can't be the manatees ripping it up like this.
It's coming dislodged for some
reason. If it is,
reason.
and we've got so many more manatees than I think we have, that it's crazy. But I mean, just all down the ICW, the flats are covered in it. Like it's just like it's balding itself again, and I don't know why. I don't know if somebody needs to go there and take a look at our lagoon system.
It's an interesting observation, that's for sure.
It definitely is. Me and Brad were talking about it yesterday. He's like, I think the lagoon's dying again. And I'm like, I don't know, man. We got a lot of grass. He goes, yeah, but look at all the floating grass. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I didn't, kind of brought it attention to me, but yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Huh. Well, I noticed, yesterday I was fishing over in the Cocoa Beach area and around up into Newfound Harbor and stuff. And when I came back around, I stopped at the 520 Causeway Bridge there in the Banana, just to side scan it, see what was going on. A little bit of mangrove snapper action down there. There was some jacks, schooling up, and that bridge normally, has something around it. So we dropped a couple of shrimp and started catching some fish there. But I did notice that there was a lot of grass with roots attached, not just the blade, yes, but with actual roots attached, kind of drifting through that section. And I thought to myself, man, that's really cool that we have grass floating again. And then I started thinking to myself, except that it's not just the blade. It's the what do they call it? The rhizome or whatever the white part of the root system is that's typically submerged. There was a lot of grass that did have that in it. You're exactly right, Matt. So yeah, maybe it's something that needs to be checked on. Well, buddy, we are up against our next break. Have you got any time available to get anybody out? Because I know you've been on a red hot trout and redfish bite up there in the Mosquito Lagoon.
Absolutely, we can fit you in somewhere. 386-214-3530 is the best number to call me. It's on my hip, but we can definitely get you out there, get you on a trout bite.
Awesome, buddy. Code Red Fishing Charters, Captain Matt Lee. You guys and gals, give him a shout and get out there and have some fun in the Mosquito Lagoon. Appreciate the call this morning, bud.
Yes, sir. Talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. Hey, gang, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more catching memories, so don't go away. We're going to be right back after these messages. Wow. Jimmy, you weren't talking to anybody out there? Well, I tell you what.
I don't know if he spearfishes or not.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Petrucci Insurance. So stop by Petrucci or give them a call, 321-632-1000, and let them know that you need a rate check because you're probably paying too much for your insurance, whether it's car, boat, or home. Give them a shout. Let them take care of that for you. And then, of course, who have we got on? We got somebody on the phone lines right now. Oh, we got Jeff Kranick on the line right now. Good morning, buddy.
Hey guys, how's it going this
Good,
morning?
man. How's it in the Keys right now?
It's always windy in the Keys.
Always this time of the year, huh?
It's the fishing hasn't been bad. It's really picked up since after the full moon. We couldn't find any snapper under the bridge or in the channels the first week we were down here. They were just all out on the reefs spawning, and we noticed that. I think it was yesterday. May have been the day before that. The mangroves are starting to return to the bridges and the rubble and stuff like that. So,
well, that is a good thing.
Yeah, it's been. I can get out to the reef in my boat. I just can't get past it, or don't want to get past it. Let's put it that way.
Right. Understood.
It just beats you up.
Well, as far as the snapper go, you're starting to see some bigger ones back in there around the bridges and stuff?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, they're starting to move back over. So,
how's the yellowtail snapper bite?
Visibility is unbelievable, especially with all this wind.
So, Jimmy was just asking, have you had a chance to get out and do any yellowtail in at all, or has it just been too rough?
It's just been too rough.
Yeah. It happens.
It's been blowing 15. We've had a couple of good days, but those good days were earlier in the week, and they were still offshore, so on the reefs.
Gotcha.
But like I said, they're coming back. If I don't burn the boat to the water line next couple of days, hopefully it'll be on them.
Keep your fingers crossed, right?
Yep. And there wasn't a whole lot of guys down here, just like up by us. They were at ICAST all week, so
yeah, ICAST was there was a lot of people. It was funny. I saw a lot of people at ICAST, and there was a lot of people I didn't see at ICAST. But I was just like buzzing through. I wasn't like wandering, and I had very specific, instructions, or I gave myself very specific instructions that I needed to go see this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. And so with the allotted amount of time that I had to commit to those and make sure that, my deals were solid for the next year or two, I didn't do a whole lot of wandering and fraternizing, I guess. It just do
they have the opportunity, like at our Scuba Dima shows, that you can buy their products at
normally at ICAST.
No, it's just more. It's just more showing their product.
Yes,
I got you.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there are a few companies that are like, okay, we really don't feel like shipping this stuff back.
Right.
Does somebody want to buy the booth?
Yeah.
Well, if you got buy the booth money,
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you can. You got there.
What's that, Jeff?
I said I'm glad to see you got there, because week before you said you didn't think you were going.
I had not planned to go. I had charters all booked up, and I had not planned to go. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. After we had Jeff and I and Blair had and our families had a fantastic adventure in Alaska, but after getting the flu and being around people that were coughing, sniffling, hacking, in the flying petri dish for flying back from Alaska for 8 hours. I was kind of done with people,
Right.
and
Yep.
and anytime you get in a large crowd, the potential to get sick is there. And of course, last year, the year before that, there was COVID running around and there was flu running around. And I'm just like, I'm just coming off a cold. I don't feel like getting another one. But, I said, you know what, I do need to go talk with some specific groups. And I'll tell you what, one of them was Abyss Batteries. And
Yeah, congratulations on
wait until you see what they're coming out with. I'm talking about, wow. I can't even explain the system that they have coming out here in the next couple of months. I will
that. It's
know
almost
more.
a smart battery.
It's crazy what they're coming out with. It's like a complete integrated system. It's not just a battery.
Is it for your power and your spot locks, or
It's for everything.
for everything? Yeah.
It's I don't know enough. They gave me the little spiel, and so I know a little bit, but they're like, we really want to put this on your new boat, on your new Skeeter. And rather than, they have their Legacy series, which is what I'm running currently in my current Skeeter boat that I have for sale now. But my new Skeeter I just picked up, and they want to put this new series in it, and it is, I'm talking game changer. If it works the way that the prototype in the booth works,
Right.
game changer. It's amazing.
So how many batteries do you run in your boat?
Right now I run 3. I was running 5. Okay, so I was running 3 Group 31 AGMs for the trolling motor, an electronics battery, and a house/cranking battery.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's 5 batteries.
So 5 batteries. So I had 72, 72, 72.
And they weren't lithium.
No, they were the AGMs were 72 pounds apiece.
Wow.
They're all AGMs. The cranking battery was about 48, and then the electronics battery was the same thing, 48. So I've gone from 3 batteries weighing 72 pounds and 2 batteries basically weighing 50 pounds. So, well over 200 pounds just in batteries, plus the charging system.
Yeah, I meant to talk to you about those batteries. I got a couple of Optimas we need to switch out before you sell those.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we can talk about that. So I have now, with the Abyss Legacy series that I'm running in my gray Skeeter. I don't have it in the blue Skeeter. I just have it in the gray Skeeter. I've taken 3 72-pound batteries and replaced them with one single 36-volt that weighs about 40 pounds.
Wow.
Half the weight, basically, of one of the old
Absolutely.
Group 31s. Now, it's a big battery.
Yeah.
I mean, it still takes up a lot of space, but it's so lightweight, and and I can't run it out. I cannot run it out of juice. I mean, I can chase tarpon all day long. I can go out and sit on the reef in a 2-knot current all day long, and it won't run out of juice. It's amazing.
And also lithiums, you get 100% power almost till the end.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
lead acid batteries,
there's no degradation in the power output throughout the day of my trolling motor. It stays at peak performance all day long.
right.
And it recharges in 2 to 3 hours. Like, even if I run it all day, it's like 3 hours and it's totally recharged. My AGMs would take 7 or 8 to do the same thing.
Wow.
So as far as switching from the AGMs to the lithiums, just it's an amazing upgrade in itself. Yes, it costs more money, but they're designed to last 10 years instead of 2 or 3. They're designed to go 600-700 cycles, 800 cycles versus 250 or 350 cycles.
Right.
So the longevity is 2 to 3 times longer, and it's instant power, and so my 36-volt battery is generally putting out 42 volts. Like, I can check it on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I used to be super tech-tarded. Now I'm just mildly tech-tarded.
Tech-tarded. That's me.
And I
love
can,
it.
I can check it on my phone. I can check the voltage per cell if I want to. So long story
Hold on.
short is the
Hold
lithium.
on. Are you using an app also?
Well, there's an Abyss, there's an Abyss battery app thing that you download so that you can.
Is this the same man that says he doesn't do apps?
Well,
I'm just trying.
well, I have
learning.
I have it on my camera. I have it on my camera, which is my iPhone 14. I don't have it on my phone, which is my iPhone 5. So I do have it on the 14. But
Is that a flip phone?
no, but if I could get away with a flip phone, I would. Robin Shiver, that owns Bass Assassin Lures, Saltwater Assassin Lures, still has a flip phone.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I'm envious. I'm jealous. But
If you hit the wrong button and something tries to download on that iPhone 5, it's going to burn up.
right,
You're
it'll
gonna watch it
it'll just shut down.
self-ignite.
It'll just shut down. But going back to the batteries, these the Abyss 36 volt battery, it only weighs 40, maybe 42 pounds, and instant power all the time, way more power than what the 312 volts ever provided, even when they were brand new. The electronics, I run a lithium electronics battery. My electronics peak performance. There's no lag time. I'm running a Simrad,
Right.
so it's way better than a Garmin anyway, as far as
Hey,
lag time
hey,
goes.
now.
Hey, I'm just telling the truth. I'm spitting truth.
That's what I run Simrads. I love my Simrads.
I love the Simrads. There's so much, and the new Evo 4 is even. It's ridiculous. I saw it at the iCast show. It is ridiculously fast compared to even the 3 that I have now.
Yeah.
It's even faster. So long story short, I'm running 2 lithiums, one for my electronics. It's isolated to the electronics. One for the trolling motor, isolated to the trolling motor. And then I run an AGM because Yamaha had not yet said you could use lithium.
They
as a
say you
cranking
shouldn't
battery.
use lithiums for your cranking motor.
Well, now they've said it's okay.
Yeah.
Now they've said it's okay. So I'm planning on having 3 lithium batteries, a 36, a 12 for the electronics, and a 12 as the house battery.
Yeah.
Well, now with this new system, I'm going to lose a whole nother battery. And I'm going to lose,
40 pounds?
I'm probably going to lose the charging system as well. So the charger for the batteries, like you would plug in, you get home, you plug into your drop cord, or shore power if you're in a marina. Because their new system has a circuit breaker, it has a fire. It's like a battery inside a box. It's got a fire suppression system to it. It has an inverter, converter, diverter. I don't know what the heck you want to call this thing.
Dehydrator.
Something, yeah. So I can run a single 36 volt battery that also works as a 12 volt battery via this box. It's a separate
It's
box.
like an isolator.
Something.
Yeah.
It pulls the 36 volts out, converts it to 12, and drives everything else in the boat at 12.
Wow.
But then when I crank my motor up and I'm running from spot A to spot B, it's also a charge on the fly charger that converts 12 back into 36.
That's where the smart battery comes in.
Right. So this whole system that they have created, I'm basically going to lose a whole nother battery in weight because the 36 is also acting as the 12, is also acting as the run on the fly charger system, is also acting as so now I don't need, because I'm charging every time I crank the main motor up, I'm charging no matter what. I won't even need a overnight house, battery type charger.
Right.
So you eliminate that weight. So I just started looking at the weight savings
Yes.
of this thing alone, plus the fire suppression system, plus the plus. And they've got all these other little features to
That'll
it.
help you somewhat in fuel mileage too.
If the thing actually works as intended, it's truly going to be a game changer. And obviously, there are things that, in theory work and then in practice sometimes don't work as good as you'd like.
Right.
And then there may be some bugs to work through on this. I don't know. They've been testing it for 2 years. But it sounds to me like this is going to be a huge change to boating in general. And it's safety. Hey, Jeff, we're gonna let you go. We got to sign off. We got our next break coming up here, but appreciate the call this morning. And let's see some of those. Let's see some of those pictures when you guys get back out and do some fishing again. We'd love to see them.
Okay, buddy. You guys, straight lines.
All right, take care and be safe.
See you.
Bye now. Hey, gang, we're going to take our last break of the day. When we come back, we got a whole lot more Catch the Memory. Well, not a whole lot more, but just a little bit more coming right back at you. So don't go away. We're almost done with our radio show, but we'll be right back. Sunrise has all of the gear that you hardcore anglers need for a productive day on the water, and they've got frozen baits like ballyhoo, sardines, squid, and more. Plus, Sunrise Marina has a great selection of live baits, shrimp, pinfish, croakers, mud minnows, fiddler crabs, and a whole lot more. So if you're looking for tackle, rods and reels, boating accessories, fresh made sandwiches, or your favorite beverages, Sunrise Marina has got everything for you, and you can ice it all down with some bagged or bulk ice at their convenient, trailer boat friendly drive-thru. Sunrise Marina also stocks some really cool nautical gifts, as well as the performance clothing and casual clothing that anglers like you and me like to wear. Make sure you stop by Sunrise Marina before heading out before your next fishing adventure. They're easy to find right across the street from Grills Restaurant at 505 Glen Cheek Drive in Port Canaveral. StarTron enzyme fuel treatment makes all engines run stronger, smoother, and helps them get better fuel economy. The enzymes in StarTron improve the quality of all fuels so engines start easier, even if they haven't been run for several months. Don't just stabilize your fuel, tune it with StarTron. StarTron enzyme fuel treatment can also be used in 2- and 4-stroke engines, trucks, lawnmowers, generators, motorcycles, four-wheelers, basically anything that runs on gas. You can also get StarTron diesel fuel treatment for your truck, boat, or tractor, or construction equipment. Welcome back, guys. This hour of Camo Radio has been brought to you by Bud and Bud Light. And, of course, you know, the American Beers for American Heroes program is going on. And just about everybody likes beer. So get out there and get yourself some Bud or Bud Light and help them help first responders and veterans and family members through the Folds of Honor donation, because they're giving $1 for every case of Bud or Bud Light beer sold in Brevard County to that particular company, and to help, you know, the promotion of and support and try to inspire family members of those who have, you know, lost loved ones through you know, through their first responder duties or through their veteran duties. So you guys and gals, get out there and help out today. Also, we need to do the Starbright Cleaning Solution segment real quick. So this is a tip from Bobby Lane. Normally I ask the guest on the show, what's your favorite thing? And we can do that real quick. What's your favorite thing?
The boat hull cleaner, the floor cleaner, and the motor wash.
Okay,
the motor flush.
So there's his favorite one.
You can load it all up with that. I don't have much of upholstery.
So Bobby Lane was telling me the other day, he says, you know, he's got a bass boat, got glitter, you know, sparkly glitter flake, all that kind of stuff on it, right? He says, you know what? One of the best things he does, he takes the magic sponge and the boat detail and goes around with the boat detail. Instead of a rag, he uses the magic sponge.
Right.
He goes, try it one time.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be impressed.
Yeah, they work great.
It's amazing. So that's from, you know, pro bass angler Bobby Lane. I got that tip from him when we were over at ICAST. He that's the way he does his boat. And then this segment of the show is brought to you by Strike Zone. And saw Saul Hornig from Strike Zone over at ICAST, and he was saying that they're getting ready to, you know, put a bunch of new product in. So give it a couple of weeks, and then you should start seeing a lot of this new product that came out at ICAST showing up over at the show. So real quick, Jimmy, lobster. You know, you're the diver. Lobster season's coming. How is it looking off the Space Coast this year? How is it going to be a good year? Is it going to be a mediocre year? What's your thoughts on it in your preliminary dives that you've had?
From what I've been seeing the past few dives out there on the reef, we're seeing a lot of lobster. We're seeing a lot of big lobster.
That's a good thing.
And one thing that I've noticed, you know, this thermocline came in early this year.
Yes.
And normally in the past, it always seems like every mini season, it's blacked out, it's cold. But I think we're going to have a good mini season. And even though the bottom temperature is still between 66 and 68 degrees,
right?
I mean, we're having 30 to 40 foot of visibility out there. I'm seeing a lot of lobsters with no eggs. And normally lobsters don't normally drop their eggs until that bottom temperature is around 76, 78 degrees. Now, I don't know why Yes, I've seen a few with dark eggs. You know, they're getting ready, but I've seen a lot of males out there, a lot of females with no eggs. So, is that indicative of what's to come? I hope so. It's going to be a good season. I think we'll do good during the mini season. I can't speak for South Florida because I predominantly dive Daytona to Canaveral. Yeah. That's my hunting grounds on the East Coast. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good season.
So, you know, there are predators out there that like lobsters. I mean, the Goliath grouper,
absolutely,
Cobera snapper, nurse sharks.
Yes.
Are you seeing more of them because there's more lobsters this year, or does it just seem like they haven't caught on to that yet?
Well, I haven't seen any Coberas this season, or I'd be shooting them. But we shot some big mangoes. But yeah, I mean, we see the nurse sharks. They like laying under the ledges, but they're nocturnal feeders.
Yeah.
And at nighttime, the lobsters will come out, and they'll do their outside of the ledge, and that's when the nurse sharks pick them up.
Yeah, right.
Because normally they're backed up into that hole and they can't get them out. But for the most part, it's just going to be a great season.
Good deal. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I want to throw my hat in the ring here. You know, if you need a guy to drive the boat around,
I would love to have you come out and run our boat. You can see what we do.
I would. That would be big. That would be a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you don't run charters on the weekends, do you?
No, typically I don't.
Okay, then we might get you out on Saturday, and I know you go to church on Sunday, and I respect that for sure. But yeah, on a Saturday, get you out to run my Dusky or my buddy's Contender.
Or if you're going sometime during the week and I don't have a charter. Like this coming week, I'm only booked Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Tuesday, Thursday, I'm off. Now the following week, I don't remember what I have.
Well, I'll just stay in touch with you.
Yeah.
But I got my buddy Ethan Allen. He dives with me a lot, and he's a good diver, and a lot of fun. But he goes with me on the weekends. You know, he works a lot during the week. So, but Saturday is his day to be able to dive.
Yeah.
And all I got to do is call him. Hey, Ethan, we're going to dive Saturday. I'm in.
Let's go. Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Any downside to, you said the water temperature was like 66, 68 degrees. Is there any downside to that?
Right now, the damn jellyfish is the downside.
They get in that
and
water
these aren't those big cannonballs. They don't have the long tentacles.
Right.
Sorry, tentacles.
Well, the females don't have testicles either.
I don't know. But all I know is they're down there by the thousands, and you're literally bobbing and weaving to duck these things. Really? It seems like.
And they're way down in the water column.
The closer inshore, they're more on the top. I mean, I'm not saying they're not down.
Yeah, because that's where when I'm in a boat. I see them. They're always
you'll see
up top.
them, but when we get further offshore, they go down to the deeper water. I don't know why, but I came up the other day.
Or something.
I turned around to see where my partner was, and I got a face full of it. And I'm telling you what, it hurts. I mean, it looked like a whelp across your face.
From the cannonball jelly?
Yeah, no, not the cannonballs. The jellyfish are about maybe the size of a baseball. But they have the long tentacles. I mean,
those white ones.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you'll see the little fish in there with them.
Yep.
That's pretty cool to see the little teeny tiny. I don't know what kind of fish they are. They might be little hatchery fish.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether they're protected in there or they're symbiotic with the jellyfish.
Yeah, like hatchet fish, and I think maybe the baby barjacks might get in them too.
Possibly, but they're cool looking.
Yeah.
The jellyfish. I guess they're like plankton eaters. I don't know. I don't know if they're jellyfish, but I do know the spadefish. They love jellyfish.
Yeah.
And you'll see the jelly like over a wreck or something where there's a lot of spadefish or culverts. All of a sudden, you'll see the jellyfish up there with no tentacles. They eat all the tentacles.
That's pretty wild. Yeah. You know, one of the things that we saw out in Alaska, they had these gigantic jellyfish.
Like a moonfish?
Called lion's manes. And they were sort of a yellowish, brownish, kind of a yellowish, brownish color. And they called them lion's manes. And they were, big. They were like the size of a basketball or sometimes even bigger, and with long tentacles coming off them. And, you know, we didn't.
Are they stingers?
I don't know. We didn't.
You need to find out.
You would just see them.
You need to put your leg in there and find out.
No, that's okay. That water was cold,
Take
man.
one for the team.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what the water temp was, but it was probably in the 50s.
In the 40s, 50s.
Yeah. It was crazy.
What part of Alaska were y'all at?
We went to Ketchikan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did y'all catch any halibut?
Oh, we caught a ton.
Did you bring a bunch home with you?
Yeah, we did.
Save some of that.
Yeah.
Remember, save some of
If
that.
you want some, I'll give you
swap out
some.
some lobster for some halibut.
Yep. And we brought pea cod back, Pacific cod. We brought ling cod back, some salmon. Just
nice.
A good variety. We had a great time out there. It was a lot of fun.
You bring any king crab back?
We ate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ate that.
Nice.
Well, guys and gals, I tell you what, it's been a whole lot of fun today. Jimmy, you're always an absolute blast to have on the show. Such a wealth of knowledge. I appreciate you sharing your underwater experiences with those of us that don't necessarily get a chance to do that all the time. That perspective is just a unique perspective that we don't get by staying in the boat.
Well, it's just, I love spearfishing, but you know what? Even if you're not a spearfisherman, if you're just a diver, every time you get in that water, it's something different.
Yeah.
You see something different. And if you're not spearfishing and the sharks are there, they won't bother you. But I can't get in that water without a spear gun. I just can't do it.
No, I'll just stay up top.
Yeah.
I'll just drive the boat. I'm good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, guys and gals, until next week, do exactly what Jimmy and I are going to do. Get out there and catch yourselves a memory.